Hey, welcome back again to another video. How are you guys doing? I know you are doing absolutely amazing, just as I am doing. Well, in today's video, I have a high profile personality, as I always do here on my YouTube channel. She is in the person of Loretta. So Loretta is a migrant nurse or an overseas nurse who moved all the way from Ghana in West Africa into the United Kingdom. She came as a band 4, moved to band 5. Today, she is a proud band 6 UK RN, working in one of the biggest Kent trusts in NHS. And Loretta's transition has been very remarkable because moving from band 4 to band 5 to band 6 within a very short period of time. Today I have Loretta here with me. She's going to be giving us all the juicy tips you need to know if you want to move your career up the ladder in the NHS. She's going to be giving us real life experiences of how she migrated from overseas as a band 4 nurse, moved to band 5, and eventually became a band 6 nurse. Without much ado, guys, let's go right into it. So I have Loretta here. Let Loretta introduce herself to us. So Loretta, can you tell us who you are?
Hello guys, I'm Loretta Asante, a registered UK nurse, RN Papa.
Listen, ladies and gentlemen, this lady is a very, very jolly nurse. She is very bubbly. She is very lively. So if you see her doing that, that's the kind of person she is. She can't change for anything.
I've got a lot of life in me, you know.
Yeah. She's a very, very fancy person. Right. So Loretta, what process do you use to come to the UK from overseas? Did you have to write IELTS? What was the process like?
All right. So as I said before, I'm Loretta Asante and I come from Ghana actually. So yeah, just the normal process that everybody uses to come to the UK. I wrote IELTS and I did my CBT. I registered with the UK NMC, and then that was the process I actually did. And after I had all these things in place, I registered with an agency, and then they got me a job in the UK. And yeah, wow. So far that was the process that I used to come to the UK.
All right. So you moved into the UK as a band 4 nurse. And where do you work actually? Like which area? Not necessarily where. Which area and which units do you work in?
Okay, so I work in Kent and in a surgical vascular unit.
That's a very busy unit.
Oh my God. It is really, really very busy there. And to be sincere with you, but I love the place because it's got a lot of things happening there. And if you are a new nurse who has come into the system, personally, I've not practiced a lot in Ghana before coming in. So I needed a lot of experience. So I think that was a good place for me to start my nursing practice. Yeah, so I really love the place, but it's really, really getting very busy, and I don't know.
So if I may ask, how long have you practiced so far? Like combining Ghana and coming here, how long?
I would say 4 years, 4 to 5 years. Okay. Yeah, because I would say I practiced like 2 years in Ghana before I came in here, and I'm almost 2 years. So in January next year, I'll be 2 years in the UK.
Wow.
So, yeah, I would say 4 years. Yeah.
Wow. So you are already about 6. We'll come to that in a minute. Less than 2 years, you move about 4, 5, and you're about 6.
Oh.
But I must commend you because working in a surgical unit is not easy. Me, when I do agency and put me in a surgical unit, I'm like, oh my goodness. So you've done very well having the courage to work in a UK surgical vascular unit. You have really, really, really tried. I'm very surprised you haven't even moved. You are still there and you are still climbing and going up the ladder. You've done very well.
Let's see.
Yeah. When you came into the UK, you came in as a band 4, yeah?
Yeah.
And then you did your OSCE exams.
Yeah. So in my trust, when you are an overseas nurse and then you get to the trust, you definitely start with band 4. So after your OSCE training and then you pass, like you are successful with the exams, then it means you can get your band 5. And you look onto yourself, and if you really want to climb further, you can.
So how long did it take you from the band 4 passing your OSCE to moving to band 5?
Actually, with my case was a different one, I would say, because as at now, we've got a project at our hospital that we're doing now, and myself and some colleagues of mine are championing on that. Because when we came in, within the 1 week of quarantine, we were like preparing to write our OSCE.
Mm-hmm.
So we just took 1 week to prepare, and then that was it. So it was really tough for us. It was, but lo and behold, I would say 99% of us passed.
Wow.
So it just took like because we came in January, we had exams in February, and then by March, we moved to band 5. So
Wow.
so it didn't
Wow.
take that much for us to get into our band 5 position. Yeah.
So now back to the topic of the day. So now you're a proud band 6 nurse in the surgical vascular unit.
Hooray!
Yay, you did it. So how did it start?
Yeah.
When did you realize that you were ready to move up the band? And for those of you who do not know, in the UK, promotions are not automatic like it is back home. So back home, you know that once you get to this number of years, you are moved up the ladder. But here, no, it doesn't work like that. A junior staff can come today and come and be your senior. So how did you, and when you want a position, you have to go for interview, you have to apply for the job. Yes. So how did you develop the interest, and when did you know that you were ready to move up?
Okay, so to be sincere, after my 1 year in my ward, I realized I was able to do, I would say, everything, and I started charging the ward just some few months after I became a band 5. I was left on my own to charge the ward with other agency stars and all those things. So I picked it up very early. At a time, I think after like 8 months, there was a position, a band 6 position, which a lot of people were trying to tell me, Loretta, go for it and all that. I realized some people were going. To me, I think I needed some more time.
Mm-hmm.
So I waited till this time around that I applied. What gingered me to apply was I realized that some of my junior colleagues, I will not say they are junior colleagues because some of them had a lot of experience back home before they came.
Yeah.
But because they came to meet me, I would say they are my junior colleagues. So what gingered me was a lot of people were telling me, Loretta, you have to apply for this job. It's your job, it's yours. I was a bit reluctant because I thought, do I have to take it as soon as, you know?
Mm-hmm.
So my junior colleagues came to me, Loretta, you have to apply for the job. We know you are good, you can do it. And at the time, the letter came to me that some people came to them that they should apply. So wow, it gingered me. Then I said, okay, if they are going to apply, then I have to apply.
That's it. That's very
true.
Because your juniors will come and override you. You'll be there and they'll become seniors. So if you have the opportunity, why not take it?
Yeah, sure.
Did you get any support from your managers, from your senior colleagues? Did they give you any support?
Yeah, so I will recommend one of my lovely band 6 nurse. She's called Ola, and I really like this lady. She supported me. She was my reference, and she helped me in applying, like going through the questions and all those things that were asked. And I actually gave her everything to go through after I finished before I sent it out there. So, and we had a new manager who was also called Loretta. So I just told her, although she was new and she wasn't having any favorites anyway, but I just told her I wanted to be my reference, and she was like, okay. She's happy to be my reference, and she has worked with me before, so she know how I was doing. She recommended me like some few times, so she was happy to reference me. So I had like support from my manager and my band 6.
That's a very good word. That is a very good word.
Yeah,
so
sure.
After you applied, you had to apply on the intranet website, isn't it?
Yeah, I did that.
Right. So
that's where the job was out there. So
advertised.
Advertised. So that was the only place you could there wasn't any place you could go for the job unless
you want to move out of the trust.
Yeah, sure.
So when you went to interview, can you just tell us a few questions, maybe 1 or 2 questions that they asked you in the
To be
interview?
sincere, these are normal questions like tell me about yourself, and that was what I prepared for. Oh my God, I don't want to talk about these questions. You know what, that was what I prepared for. These are normal questions like tell me about yourself, tell me about a typical day, tell me that.
So what
that was what
shocked
I
you?
prepared
What
for. I
questions shocked
was
you?
I was so shocked when the questions started coming, and these questions are very practical questions.
Yeah,
They
I
are
know they like
very,
practical questions.
yeah. These ones are
Relatable.
very practical, and it's like because you are becoming a leader, or because you are going to be in a management position, so that kind of questions. And to be sincere, my mind was not even there. But when the exams come down, you have to position
It
yourself.
happened.
So I remember one of the questions they asked me was um, one of the questions they asked me, it's recent, I've forgotten. They said, can you tell us a typical day you gave out, you were stressful, but you think you gave out your best,
Mm.
Yeah. And can you tell us about the things that you can do for the improvement of, it's like continuity of culture,
Okay.
Yeah.
Did
And
they ask you any question like how to manage a condition?
not really. They didn't
Okay.
ask.
All right.
They didn't ask anything like that. They just asked about your work, like being a leader. Okay,
More of
some of the
leadership.
motivations that you be giving to colleagues at work. Yeah, this was what they actually asked. I
Okay.
remember one of the questions they asked about diversity, because we are in a multicultural let's say country or whatever,
Yeah.
because we've got a lot of people coming in, and then we've got so many things happening with this LGBT and all those things, giving them the opportunity to do all those things. So they ask questions regarding those things, that being a charge nurse, how are you going to ensure that there is diversity and inclusiveness and diversity in your ward if you're a charge nurse? Yeah, so these are some of the questions they gave. And if truly you don't really have that, you are going to fumble. And to be sincere, I was like, what kind of questions are those ones? Because I didn't
This
prepare
country, they
for that.
like that. Yeah, they
Yeah.
give you very tough questions. So in all, you should be very prepared in that area you're going to apply in. And also, it doesn't necessarily mean you should apply for band 6 where you are. If you have the competency, the knowledge, and you meet the requirement, you can go for the position, even if it's in another trust or it's in another ward or unit outside your own unit. So yeah, Loretta, congratulations to you. And
thank you. Yeah, with what you said, even with the job that I applied for, the band 6, we had this guy who was a band 6 in my ward, and he had a band 6 in one of the trusts in London. So he was going, so we had that vacancy, and I applied for that. So it's actually true. It depends on you. If you want to get a band 6 in your ward, that's fine. Or if you want to get it in another ward or another trust, yeah, you don't have any limits, like back home when you are changing words and all those things. And like back home when you apply, so far as you're in the UK, wherever you want to work, that's over to you. You don't have any restrictions.
Yeah. All right. I know you are here with your husband, and now you are in a leadership role. You are in a leadership position. How are you doing it? How are you
It's
doing
not
it?
easy. It's not easy, to be sincere. I'm having this kind of shift with my husband. Okay. Because when I was a band 5, I used to manipulate my shift a bit, because I could talk to my manager. Oh, can you give, because my husband normally works at night. So I'm like, can I have night shift? Yeah. So I make sure I get a night shift with my husband. So we both meet in the day. And then when he's off, I'm also off. But now I'm doing a long day. Do you get it? So when I am off, my husband is working. And we don't meet. Okay, so it's becoming something. But because I just had the position, I don't want to rush in anything. I just want to relax, go through the process, and then maybe as time goes on, I can talk to them. Yeah, even if it's 2 days or whatever day they can assess that, that's fair enough because we are entitled to flexible working hours. So
that's
yeah.
true. That's true. All right. Any final words for my viewers? What do you think you need to tell them? What do they need to hear? Any advice?
Well, my advice to everybody or watching us, those back home, that if you really want to travel, my dear, you don't have to let anything limit you. Yeah, I know IELTS is something else. I know OET is something else. But a lot of people has done it, so you can also do it. Just put in your maximum best. Yeah, you have failed 2, you have failed 3, but it doesn't make any difference. If you don't do it, you never know. Okay, so just put in your maximum best, do it, and then come in and get that dream that you want for yourself. And all those here who are trying to get the band 6 position, it's not any scary thing. If you're in NHS and you really want to get the band 6, go for it. When you see a job being advertised there, go. You never know. You've got a lot of things within you that you can really bring out to the trust that you are working with. So you have to go for it, even if it is not in your ward. So one thing I remember that I wanted to apply for a job somewhere else apart from my ward, but I just waited a while. One thing I do is I just book shifts, like bank shifts in the world to see how things go over there. So if you really want to be in that leadership position, you just have to apply or go out there. Be open, be dynamic, get yourself challenged. Okay.
Yeah.
And yeah, you are going through. Yeah.
Thank you very much for your time, for your effort, for your advice. I know a lot of people are going to benefit from this. In all, what Loretta is telling us is don't give up on your dream to migrate.
Never.
It might be hard today, but tomorrow is going to be very, very smooth for you. And also, when you come into the country, try to look for avenues, be open minded, be open to learning and development, and progress in your career. With this being said, guys, we wish you all the very best in your next transition and from your home country to other countries. Until we meet again in our next video, guys. Bye.
Bye.